So Boris, we're here at Extracon Open in Elsinore, Denmark, and we're finally getting around to do the Q&A. And thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Of course it is.
It's great.
And my pleasure too. So we'll go straight into the questions from our blog. So the first one is quite a long question. It says, Dear Boris, I'm a fan of yours because I love the Knight Elf and want d4 as white. I find your games very instructive for learning these openings. I would like to know why you gave up the King's Indian in '98, and what do you think of the opening in general, and is it too risky for your level? And finally, would you be playing it again in the future? So King's Indian in you, what's the story?
Well, the story is I played King's Indian from age 6. I don't remember how I started. I guess maybe my trainer showed me, a friend showed me, and I started playing it. And I played with reasonable success with both colors, especially my games with Kasparov in the early 90s. Linares and some other games led the Reggio Emilia, helped to broaden the perspective of these openings. A lot of strategical ideas were introduced there. I played with white, with black. And then I basically quit it after '95, and I lost this last round with King's Indian to Jeroen Piquet and Dos Hermanos and missed first place because of it. And basically I thought I have to learn something new, not to get stuck. And I think this opening is pretty perfectly playable. When I play with white, okay, it's always a tough game. We'll probably discuss it in one of the next volumes of our series.
4, 5 or 6, who knows?
Yeah, who knows, yeah. But it's perfectly playable, and who knows, maybe I'll be back. All the options are open. Let my potential opponents prepare for it.
It should start now,
yeah? Yeah, okay, it's very playable opening, yeah. Especially on a club level, okay, if it always leads to a complicated game, and that's what a lot of players are looking for, yeah. Even if probably objectively it's can be not 100% correct, but it's a complicated game. And I think my friend Elias Mirin wrote a book about it.
King's Indian Warfare, it's called.
Yeah, okay.
It will be out in September.
About in September, and he is a really big master of this opening. So I hope you would have an insight of another great specialist soon.
Yes. Okay, so we'll move straight on here. The next question is, how would you advise older amateur players, 50 or more, to keep competitive in the modern chess world? Do you think, first of all, I can ask differently, do you think there's a difference of how older players and younger players should train?
It's a good question, probably. Because, well, if you get older, your memory gets worse, so probably it takes more time for you to remember. Probably your calculation is a bit slower, so maybe you need to take, at least at my level, more effort to keep it on the level. But I really don't know, since I never thought of it, and it's a good question. But in order to be competitive, the most important is to keep motivation. I do believe that the motivation is the key. When you lose motivation, whatever age you are, you have no chance, yeah?
Yeah, I know very well.
Yeah, so motivation, and also one shouldn't forget that to be competitive on whatever level, it requires let's say permanent work.
Sure.
Not only on chess, but on yourself, yeah?
Good. Big long questions. We'll be here for 4 hours with this time, which will be great.
Yeah.
Except in 3.5 hours you have to be something.
Okay.
Okay, so quick questions here. You mentioned 2 recent chess books you liked.
2 recent chess books I liked?
It cannot be your own.
No, yeah. Actually, no. From recent I read, it was published only in Russian, yet Games of Aronian by Vasily Emilin. Very interesting insight in Aronian's game. And also I went through Python Strategy by Petrosa. Also really, okay, I knew it, yeah?
Yeah.
I knew this book, but when I looked at it and knew, I also learned something.
Good. How do you look at chess books? Do you read the whole thing, or do you copy positions from anywhere? Or
Well, it depends on the book. Okay,
do you
if
put
you
them
look
on
at
the
the
board, or?
well, I try to read the books without the board. This habit came from since I was 8 or 9, when it was my favorite pastime. Probably I stole it in the book or not.
We talk about similar.
Yes, that I came to from my school, and I was laying out in the sofa and reading some recent book my father bought for me. And I did everything in my head, and when I finished the book, I started the new. Okay, it was game collection of Rubinstein, of I don't know, Gellert, and of Larsen, of all great players. Some tournament books like I remember Keres 48, Match Tournament 48 by Keres, and Bronstein of 53. And what I think it's very important, later on many other players did it, Nigel Short, Elias Mirin. And what it helped, first of all, it gave a good basis, a lot of, let's say, pattern recognition are engraved in you, and also you learn to visualize position. So I think it's extremely important. We also talk about it in the book, yeah.
We do, yeah. I actually once talked to Grandmaster Jan Marcus, who was surprised by the idea that you could use a board reading a chess book.
He's right. He's right. That's why he's a grandmaster.
He's a really, really clever guy.
Yeah. And some other question was here.
Well,
how do I approach a chess book?
Yeah, but let's just move on to the next one.
No, opening books, I look what I'm interested in, and of a good author, I try to read without boarding.
Okay. And the next question is, in what proportion should an amateur study opening theory, in-game tactics, positional stuff? What's your recommendation in general?
I don't know. I think opening should be not more than 20–30%. But of course, the stronger you are, the more important is opening. But of course, as Magnus Carlsen proved, we can avoid all long theoretical lines and find a way to play a game, especially on amateur level. But what I think it matters how you spend your time. You should spend your time cleverly and try to extract your utmost from each minute you spend on chess. Because if you're an amateur player, it means your time is limited. You cannot devote the whole day on chess. So you have to master how to use time you spend on chess in the most effective way.
Okay, next question. Do you have interest or follow other strategy games, Go, Shogi, backgammon, poker, and so on?
No, I play occasionally backgammon or some card games, but I don't follow it and don't play it like many of my colleagues.
So, who famously does most? There's a few poker players.
There's a few poker players. Walter Brown was.
Yeah.
Late Walter Brown was.
Very good, yeah.
Support the French players, yeah.
A few of them, yeah.
A few of them, yeah.
So, next question. I appreciate your championing of the games of Rubinstein. Are there any other classical players who you find particularly worth studying?
Well, I think all of them worth studying, and each player have to find someone which appeals the most to him. And I do believe that one can and one should study from games of all the champions of the past and the present.
The future is more difficult.
Future is more difficult, but still okay. You can say that. Let's say I don't know. VI, I don't know. Vashila Graf, Caruana, okay, champions of the, but they are of the present.
Of the present already.
Yeah. Already on the present, yeah. So I do believe that if you study good games with good annotations, it would can do a lot of good for you.
The next question I'm going to enjoy. What is the one trick for using chess days that you wished you had learned sooner?
Oh, I wish to learn many tricks, yeah. I'm not that good on it, and I learn all the time. Someone says, oh, you don't know, this is so simple, you can do this all the time. I meet my colleagues, they show me.
And the next question is, you play mainly D4 or D4-like openings. And the question is, why do you never try one E4 except in atypical circumstances? I think they mean rapid or something like this. Because there are some players who play E4 and D4 interchangeably.
Yes, yes, but I think that one is to have a good knowledge and understanding of it. And probably if I'll have 48 hours a day, I would be able to manage to build up a good repertoire on E4. But it's, well, I play normally the world best players, so it's not like you play E4 and look for a game. Yeah? I remember a story when I played with Anand in World Championship in Mexico. I was half a point behind, and I played the Catalan, which was my main opponent. He played the brilliant novelty, which is used up to now, bishop d6, move 10, and equalize, and they ended in a draw. And then journalist came to me and said, "You are half a point behind. Why do you play so passively Catalan, yeah? And end up in a draw? You should play for a win and play e4." And I asked him, "Do you think this move would surprise Anand? You think he would never saw this move?"
Yeah. What is your favorite endgame book?
Endgame book?
Yes.
I tell you, one book I didn't send in the series. I kept it for the future. Korshunev's book on rook ending. You know, one day I was living in Minsk. I opened my post box and I saw a parcel. And I opened, and it's a book of Korshun rook endgame with his signature. Yeah. Boris Gelfand with best wishes or something.
Sure.
Or with respect or whatever. And it's an amazing book. It's relatively unknown.
It's a very short one from Olms. Yeah.
Very short from Olms. And
amazing book, yeah.
He analyzes this endgame from 31st game from match with Karpov in Baguio, especially in details. Amazing game. Amazing book. Of course, there are some other great endgame books, but it just now when he passed away, I gave some interviews, asked me to what I remember about him. And this is one of the things which came to my mind. I was so happy to get this book. I was already candidate, yeah. I was already among top players as well. Still made me so happy, and immediately I gave up everything and started studying this book.
Someone here is asking for your study routine. How many hours a day do you use on chess, on other things, physical exercise, so on?
Basically, I normally, for physical exercise, I try to do table tennis from 2 to 4 times a week, 1.5 hour a session. And other days I go for long walks, like for 1 hour or so. Sometimes I go to the sea or something. That's my main physical activity. And I try to work on chess as much as possible.
You have 2 children, of course, so
I have 2 children. But okay, I try to balance. They're in school, in kindergarten, and they have the activities. So I try to, let's say, work as much as possible. And when I have time, I spend it. Okay, of course, I make some breaks. I spend time with kids.
So of course,
other things.
Of course, a lot of your time is spent preparing,
Yes.
opening preparation.
Yes.
But also you will read things, whatever you find interesting. You will follow games. You will.
Yeah, sure.
You will try to solve exercises.
Yes, of course. That's what we spoke in second book. That one of the tips of Petrosyan is to try to solve whatever.
Any position.
Any position. And okay, now there are many possibilities on the internet, for example, to find some studies, old studies, new studies, some positions, try to solve them. You send me occasionally.
Does it mean I don't have to send any more positions?
You better send. You better do. You better. I'm waiting for a new file.
Well, I have my files in total with everything. A lot of it published in 6 books already, but which is Quality Chess Puzzle book and 5 books in Grandmaster Preparation Series. But that, including material for 4 more books, you have sold everything already. I have run dry, but I'm.
But I guess if I don't solve enough.
You believe you don't solve enough?
Yes.
You solve more than my full-time students. So.
Okay. king.
Which is good. Maybe you solve faster.
Maybe I solve faster. Maybe.
A friend of mine who's 2600 was at the lecture yesterday, and he said that he didn't really realize where the pieces were before you had solved it. And then you said, oh, but I had a minute. And he said, no, not the case. Next question. Have your style changed as you got older? Do you consider it a necessary thing to do?
It's an excellent question. I don't know, it's not up to me to judge. But what I find amazing, for example, it's Kramnik, yeah, who changed style so often in his career. A really unique example. He was a very dynamic player in the 90s when he started. Mm-hmm. Then for the game with Kasparov, he dried his style. Mm-hmm. Then playing Berlin and Petrov. And now, but then maybe 5 years ago or so, he really sharpened his style. He goes for more open game and likes to sacrifice whatever possible. I don't know, I don't think my style changed so drastically, but of course, you cannot stand still, yeah. In order to be at least at your level, you have to run quickly, yeah.
Well, speaking of Kramnik, I remember you told me when we were working on the first book that there was this game you played with your father when you were 8.
Yeah.
8 or 9.
76, 8.
Yeah, yeah. And Kramnik said, oh, it's an amazing game. You play the same style at the age of 8.
Yes, yes. Yes, it's true. And then he showed, yes, and then he showed me his games, and also I saw that the style doesn't change. So probably it's from childhood. Yeah. Actually, one of the things now I remember Petrosin told me that the style you keep basically through your whole career.
But there's some players that have managed to really change, like Kramnik and Kasparov especially.
Yeah. But also talking about style, I want to say that in my opinion, it's very. May I say what?
Yes, please.
Important to have a style.
Yes.
And especially one of my biggest sport hero, Johan Cruyff, I learned this from him. That whatever you do, you should keep your style. You're faithful to your style. Maybe you'll not win, but it's important to keep your style. Maybe it's even more important than to. Of course, you have to be flexible. Yeah, you have to adapt. But if you don't have style, you don't have chances to succeed. If you don't have personality.
Okay, so I obviously read ahead and saw the next question. Yeah. So, which is, when you have worked with Jacob, which would be me, what was the most surprising gap in his knowledge and understanding? Apparently it's not a dig, but it's a serious question. He's saying that very clearly.
No, I think what surprised me is that Jacob always, whatever position, tried to look for forced decision. When I would think how to improve position, Jacob would first look at if it's possible at some forced line.
And that's maybe a style issue.
Maybe a style issue. Very often it's the only approach, yeah? First you have to check if a direct approach works, yeah? But sometimes a position is so good, as we discussed in the first volume, that it makes no sense to focus on it.
Okay, who among the current elite is your favorite opponent and why?
All of them. I'm happy to play with all of them.
There's no opponent where if you have a game with him, you're especially happy to play that game?
Well, I'm happy.
Maybe Aronia.
Last few years I didn't play with no elite players. Yeah?
So any of them?
Any of them, yeah. While in 2019 I played, I think, 6 games with each of them. And games with Kramnik were unbelievable. All of them were long, tough struggle, really instructive and interesting. Yeah. But Aronian, of course, also games with him, you know, because we are good friends. And we worked a lot on chess time to time, yeah. That's why you especially want to, as he put it, okay, it's always nice to impress your friend, yeah, to show that you are.
And it's nice that you have that relationship, that even though you're very close, you're allowed to beat each other.
Of course, you have to.
Yeah. Okay. Next question.
But I have a story about it.
Go on.
On my birthday, I lost one day to Kramnik, and it was a long game. In Dortmund, he played fantastic game, positional masterpiece. And then some of the family members said, "But how can you be friend with someone who beats you on your birthday?" and I didn't understand the point. Yeah, okay. What should he do? What should he do? We play a game and okay, it's a pleasure to play world champion on your birthday. Yeah, it's an honor. Yeah, it's the best way to spend your birthday, I think. To play world champion, okay. And eventually you didn't manage to hold, yeah, but you learned such an important lesson.
Yeah. Next question: what do you think is more important in chess? And it's going to be a one-word answer: creativity or technique?
Both.
Good. What is the most memorable thing you took with you from the World Chess Championship, from the match with Anand, I guess? Was the one moment where you really think this was an amazing moment?
The whole match was extremely amazing moment. The whole month was, I enjoyed immensely.
Okay, but you have to choose.
I don't know.
Just like, you know, all women are beautiful, but in the end you got married.
Yeah. May I choose two?
Ask your wife.
Yeah. No, okay.
You can have two here today.
It's a game I won, of course, and also the move c4 in the 12th game.
Of course, yes. That from a spectator's point of view, that was my highlight. Of course, it was a long highlight because you had to understand it first. So another one.
But did someone expect it or not? You've been there in the press room?
No. I didn't see it. Nobody. Okay, what is your craziest chess experience?
Craziest?
Yes. What's the most mental thing you've experienced related to? What's the most crazy things you've experienced related to chess?
Probably dealing with Israeli Chess Federation now.
Okay.
Because it's really insane, yeah? Because everything what happens in the board, okay, it gives you positive feeling, whatever you miss something, but still you tried, yeah? Then it's like you're lightened, yeah?
Yes. No, I think many chess players don't like politics at all.
Of course. For me, it's the worst thing, yeah?
Yeah.
And I think many chess players experienced it, but, well, it's the first time I experienced it to such extent, yeah?
I think it's a very common thing among chess players to feel that their federation is not doing as well as they would like.
Well, for last 10 years, even so, probably they could do more, but basically I would give them 4 out of 5. Which is okay.
Quite nice. Yes.
Quite nice. 3.5, 4.
So yeah,
so
famous story was Germany winning the European Game Championship.
Yes.
And the relation with the players and federation was so bad that all the players were banned for life for playing in the team within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Of course, federation, the officials change.
Yeah, it's the same like with me now. I'm banned.
At least this week you're banned, yeah?
No, I'm banned, yeah. For the moment I'm banned, yeah.
Yeah, until you're not banned anymore.
Yeah, until I'm not banned.
But there's no game tomorrow, so who knows?
Who knows?
You would love to play, of course.
Why?
Like Baku, the Olympiad.
Well, I would love to play with a good team. I don't want to go there with a tourist to play on 20 support, yeah?
Sure.
I want to be like with a team which can fight for, at least to qualify for all team, yeah?
Okay, so a few more questions here. What do you think is the best method for training the calculation of variations? A lot of work?
Yeah, you not only a lot of work, but maybe systematic work, day after day.
I can say, you know, I'm a trainer, I can say that for me, what I advise is that when people do something, they should do it as if it's important. So they actually really focus on doing it.
But you should do everything as it's important.
Absolutely.
Whatever
this is my life lesson.
Yeah. Okay, you have to focus. Okay, if you analyze some opening, you have to be focused. It's not enough if you let your engine work and you have a coffee and just wait for your engine to get the dips.
Sure.
But calculation even more maybe, yeah?
Yes. Next question. What's the method you use for remembering complicated analysis for openings?
I basically try to revise it as often as possible.
You look at it again and again?
Again and not support, yeah? Not on computer, but on support.
So you move your pieces. Do you do that with Alex, your coach?
Well, when he's there, I do it with him, but also I do it myself.
Okay,
But whenever we analyze with him, we analyze on the board. We move pieces on the board. It's not like he sits with his computer, I sit with my computer, and we compare what our computers suggest. At least one of us have to be without computer.
Sure.
To show human perspective.
Someone's thanking for the book and asking about the way of thinking. Do you think there's a big difference between the way your generation is thinking, Jockey, Shiro, Fernand, Crumley, and the young players, Giri, Kawana, Maxim, Lagrave, Nakamura, Carlsen, and so on?
I do believe that each player thinks a bit differently, because okay, as I said, everyone has his style, it means his own approach. But also, of course, recently I read somewhere that Nakamura said that such point as beauty doesn't exist in chess.
Beauty.
Beauty. Okay, maybe it's exaggeration, yeah, or maybe I misunderstood. But I believe that it exists, but also each player has to find its balance between where he is computer, where he is from scientific approach and practical approach. And for each player it's totally different, so I wouldn't make a different generation-wise or nation-wise or something. Each player is different. But if someone got to such a level, it means that he has real patience for chess and he really loves chess.
So, next question. To what extent do you think amateurs can increase their positional understanding by studying books, such as, for example, positional decision making in chess? And how much do you think of it as talent? The reason why the guy is asking is he says, though I really enjoyed your book, I still feel my positional play is not very good and it hasn't improved very much.
It's hard to say. First of all, you have to go step by step. But also, you cannot, there are no miracles. You cannot read one book and improve yourself by a few hundred little points. I think you have to go step by step and accumulate knowledge and accumulate some wisdom. And then, here or there, you would see a result. Well, you can read also books about positional play, but then it would be, maybe in your next 10 games, would be some very tactical positions where it wouldn't be very useful. But in the long term, it would serve you. I cannot tell how much elo points you would gain and what you will profit. But
no, but generally, as we were talking, like consistent work, as many days as you can.
But consistent work always pays off. That I'm sure. On each level.
One thing that I always explain to people I work with is that it always takes longer than you think it should take. It's if you imagine you go on a plane journey, like you can think you came from Moscow before here, you can think of your plane journey now. Then the moment you get on the plane, you can probably remember quite easily now, and you can remember getting off. But the 3 hours in the plane, you will find it very difficult to structure it. It's just like this one thing that just blurs into everything. And it is the same way when we imagine going on a journey or a journey to better chess or something, that we seem to, in our mind, we compress things which have no turning points, no special events. And for that reason, when we imagine something, it seems that it will take less time than it actually will because it's compressed. The work, in this case, the studying period is compressed. And even though we know this, we still compress it. So I say, even though you know that it will take longer than you think, it will still take longer than you think. And this is I find this a very important thing to explain to people who are working hard on improving, because they will feel like, I did so much, why have I not reached my goal yet? And the thing is, because you're on the way, you just didn't arrive yet. This is my point of view on this. I don't know if this sounds crazy.
No, sounds logical.
Okay, the next question. You're known for calculating with your eyes closed, or looking past the board, or straight down the floor, or right into the ceiling. Do you use this time for positional consideration, or do you calculate tactical lines? And the next question we covered. So, already, but
no, but as we discussed, I think in second book, yeah, positional and tactical, and so is intersect so much that it's impossible to separate. So basically I think about position, try to calculate lines, try to calculate deep, try to calculate wides, yeah, to see if other possibilities are possible. It's a calculation process goes on in my head when I look at somewhere or when I walk during the game.
Now here comes an opening question.
Excellent.
I would like your view on the position after 1d4 e6. The person asking is happy to get a chance to play the French, but does white gain any major options by my choice if he plays usual queen's pawn game? So he thinks c4, you will play d5, but what about knight f3 or bishop f4? I think there's nothing to worry about. He'll have to play the French.
Sorry?
So d4 e6, probably he wants to avoid the Trompowsky.
Ah, okay. Okay, but if c4 he wants to return to d5.
Yeah. No problems.
Yeah, he allows French. Knight f3 and bishop f4 can be possible anyway.
Yes, good.
But probably what he'll do if d6 if on knight f3.
So d4 e6 knight f3. Don't know.
d5, maybe bishop g5 is possible anyway.
Yeah, but not bishop e7.
Bishop e7.
Well, the question is that.
Okay,
that's probably the main thing to look up. Yeah, what do you want to do with knight f3? But no big worry. It's too early.
Yeah. Yeah. There are many possibilities in this position.
Okay. Next question. I think I read somewhere that you've been studying chess for 11 hours a day for the last 30 years. Could that possibly be true?
It's a bit exaggeration, but basically not much.
Maybe 5, 6, 7 hours, yeah?
Yeah, maybe. But also, okay, it's very difficult to tell because when, let's say, you go for a walk and an idea comes to your mind, you keep on thinking, or an idea keeps popping up into your head in any circumstance, in your sleep, in your bath, okay, during your walk or something.
Yeah, but we were talking earlier about working on things that are important. If you're going for a walk with friends and chatting and you think about chess, that probably doesn't qualify as you working on chess.
Well, but you walk alone and you somehow try to solve a study. Does it qualify?
Yes.
Or if you just think and the idea comes into your head and you start thinking about it.
It's probably just your subconscious working because you do work a lot on chess.
Yeah, maybe. Or after the game you go for a walk and you discuss it with your...
So your answer is basically that you only turn it off when you go to sleep?
Not exactly, not exactly. When Barcelona plays.
Yes. Okay, and next question is if you can answer 3 books that any player should have, and you just answer the books, no explanations. We start with three books on endings. So we have the Korsner book.
Korsner books.
And rook endings.
Dvorecky's manual.
Dvorecky's endgame manual. Come on.
You, yeah?
Yeah.
Of course, of course. I have no choice.
Yes, you have no choice. Endgame play. 3 books on middle game strategy. So,
2 of ours, yeah?
Well, we have 2 books already. Positional decision making and dynamic decision making. 1 more.
Some of yours, yeah, you choose.
Yeah. Choose. Well, positional play by me, but okay. That's mentioned by someone not in this room.
Yeah.
Did you write any books, Tom?
No.
No. So we.
This kid, yeah.
Yeah. We skip. Can you think of 1 more middle game book that you really like? You like Kasparov's books, yeah?
I love Kasparov's books. Maybe Polugayevsky, as I said, and you can read in the second, basically in the second volume, we talk a lot about books. One can
talk a bit about books. books. We talk a lot about exercise books because that's the next one. Some books.
No, also because we talk about Bulgaevsky's book.
So yeah, next book is by next category is calculation tactics. So which books do you like? Which books have you found most useful?
Calculation and tactics. I like this Horten Jansa.
That's the best move, yeah.
Okay, yours.
Okay, but something else. Olukitsin and
Volkis Grabinski is very good.
yeah, it's perfect your chances.
Perfect your chances, I like it, yeah.
And I can mention the book that I really love. It has some ideas about what you should do with your work that I don't agree with at all. There's only a few pages in the book and I entirely ignore them. But it's a very good book for candidate moves, which is called Imagination in Chess by Gaprindashvili, sold by Batchford. It's a very good book. He wrote a follow-up which can be used for things like lighting a fire or you know, stopping things from falling at the end of the shelf, but should not be read. So, which was a big disappointment. And finally, 3 games collections.
Too short to choose, yeah.
But winning, for sure.
I'm not sure, maybe.
I love Botvinnik. Who do you? No, Rubinstein.
Rubinstein, Larsen I like.
Larsen. One more, quickly. Fischer?
Geller.
Geller, yeah, no, Geller, of course. It's a lovely book. So here's a question from, I think, an Indian gentleman. I'm a young player and started playing just a year ago. I feel I'm a positional player and I feel more comfortable in such position and my calculation is pretty weak. I currently play 1 e4. So my question to you is...
1?
e4.
E4.
The best move. So my question to you is, do you think that it's better for me to stick to what I already know and try to play open positions to improve my calculation? Or should I switch to more positional openings like 1d4?
No, I think at the beginning you should play more open games because it gives a good foundation for your calculation and tactical abilities. And later on you should go more for a different kind of position to broaden up your abilities.
Yeah, my opinion is basically that if your basic tactics don't work, then nothing else will work. Because if you lose pieces, it's really bad news.
Yeah.
And,
no, I think if you are young, you should play e4 and open games. If you don't do it when you are young, you'll never return to it.
Next question: do you have any recommendations against the stone wall?
Against the stone wall?
Yeah. When did you last play against the stone wall?
Stone wall, I think I played in Blitz against Magnus in Berlin.
The World Blitz.
The World Blitz, and then in Oslo Blitz we played against Magnus Stonewall.
Which system did you play?
I played different systems, but I think it was some very strange Stonewall both times, yeah. And okay, I had good position, bad position, I lost both games at the end, but at least one of them I could win in few moves, yeah.
So no concrete?
No.
No, you haven't worked it out yet?
Okay, when you play well, playing against the best player in Blitz, it's of course nice, but I don't think it exists the best system. But any system you can play, but you should know what you're doing.
So basically, pick your system and study it.
Yeah.
Good.
Go maybe to Aagaard's book. Maybe we should give a hand to our friend.
Sure. Absolutely. So we have a Grandmaster representative too.
Yeah, by our
Boris Gelfand, yes. Next question. Did you learn anything from your match with Short in Brussels in '91 that helped you later on in your career?
I learned a lot because first of all, I think it was one of the most entertaining matches. Well, just one draw out of 8 games. And I learned really a lot because my approach to matches was so naive. I think I had all the chances to win the match.
Yeah, you won the first game in 26 moves.
Yes, and I thought that in a way I kind of relaxed, and while I have to be even more focused, yeah. And then I had all chance to get back. Even last game I could win. Well, in time trouble I missed. I had advantage the whole game, but okay, what happened happened. It was a very important lesson.
Yeah, you are the prime example that there will be more chances. Yeah.
Yeah, but that time it was not clear because kind of all championship cycle was in ruins for quite a time.
Yes, you basically ruined it by not winning the match.
Yeah.
Many people could have prevented it, yeah?
Yes, yes. But also I did tell a story, what happened in the closing ceremony.
Sure, of course.
That we were sitting, 4 players lost the matches. Ivanchuk, myself, and Andy Korchin. And we are sitting in the closing ceremony. And Korchin telling to us, guys, you're young and you have all the chances to be world champions. I reached my peak at the age of 47. That you should, all of you have talent, you should keep on trying. Of course, here there are many people in the hall who claim they'll be world champions, but they have no chance.
Yes. You could never imagine him saying something without just a little twist.
Yeah. And there were some players who claimed it, and they never had a chance.
Mm-hmm. And at that table, okay, only one person actually made the title, but you were very close as well.
Yeah.
And Jockey was close. He was in the final of the FIDE, after beating Anand.
After beating Anand, yeah.
So the next question.
But then, okay, all his career proved that if he would become, he would deserve it.
Yes.
He won so many tournaments, played so many fantastic games, so no one would be disappointed or surprised if he would become.
Yes. Next question. How did you adapt to the introduction of computers in chess preparation?
It's a very good question because I think it's a very important thing, because some players of my generation or a bit older who didn't manage to adapt, they were swept away. Yeah.
Like Karpov?
Karpov still kept, despite this he kept till very late age. But many others, I don't want to mention names, okay, older generation, my generation, introduction of computers and the improvement of computers swept them away. While I did believe that it's a challenge to learn it. And I do believe that also it's one of my advantages that I have a good school. And then what would give me an advantage if I learn to do with computer, I would, let's say, even relatively good, even just a bit worse than others. But the advantage I have by classical upbringing would balance it. And it's what I do, because I think in this way our generation was very lucky that we had in time to get this foundation, while on the same time we were still pretty young to be able to adapt to new circumstances and learn how to work with computers.
I remember in the beginning...
Probably talk about it in the book,
Yeah, a little bit we do. I remember in the beginning when we started spending time together in 2009, there had been this article by a young player who said that in 5 years, he would be one of the challengers for the title, because players like Grandmaster and Gelfand and so on would clearly be away. And now we are 7 years later, and well, it doesn't look like it's happened yet.
Not yet.
It's always they want the old people to clear the way for the young. But I don't think that's the way it should be, and I don't think you agree either. It should be that the young people have to push the old away, but the old people have to prevent it.
Yes, of course.
It's the duty of both generations to try, yeah?
Yes, of course, that's what makes chess so entertaining. I think it fascinates me when I play against a player who is, let's say, age 20, and we see that we have different upbringing and a different career, and we compare whose attitude would prevail in this game. It's very interesting, because if everyone was similar, it would be pretty boring.
Yeah, I know that you see chess mainly as a sport, and maybe you can say a few words about that.
No, I don't think, because I think I value beauty very much in chess, so whenever, it's important for me not only to win, but to win a good game.
Sure.
It gives completely different perspective.
But you do like the competitive aspect of chess a lot, that when when you go into the game, it's not who is a better player and paper and so on, but it's a fight, which is...
No, I see it differently.
Okay,
I say it's a competition of which view of chess and attitude is and style is I defend not only my, let's say, personal ego, but mostly my style. That my attitude is correct one, that I did everything right, that I started in the right way. I kind of, it's important for me. Maybe it's from Johan Cruyff and Dutch football team. In Barcelona, 4-3-3. You don't play with 5 defenders and two backfield midfield.
Next question. Do you think a 2,000 player should have to work on the end game to reach a 2,200 level?
Hard for me to judge, but for sure, if you don't know the basic of end game, it's hard to improve. And also, when you start the end game, it improves your middle game and opening also because you discover the hidden potential of each piece and pawn. It doesn't work that difficult to explain with words, but I guess I hope you guess my point. Yeah.
For me, it's like when you have few pieces on the board, you really feel the potential of the pieces to a greater extent, because when there are many pieces, then everything messes together in your mind. You cannot see things as separate, and you get a better feeling of potential of the pieces. That's how I see it. Next question, I will take the audacity to answer myself. So from a player 13 years old with a rating of about 1800, who has suffering from a lot of tactical problems, general wish to improve, and I think that the series, now 10 volumes by Artur Yusupov, is absolutely fantastic for anyone rated under 2,000, 2,100 to go through these books, and this is sort of should be obligatory. So we'll go to the next question. Something rook endings we've covered. Do you think reading studies, like playing through studies, can help the intermediate players rather than solve them? They can be, they can be too difficult for some people, but just playing through them. Do you think that can help a player?
I think what Petrosan taught me, that you should first try to make an effort to see as much as you, when I was probably at this level, maybe, intermediate level. Try to make an effort to solve, to see as much as you can, and if you don't, okay, you should play through and understand what you missed. And enjoy the beauty of the study. Most of the studies are really beautiful. But first, he always advised me to make an effort, and only then to...
Good. Next question. Do you pump up yourself psychologically to be positive before an important game?
And generally, well, when I play an important game, it gives me good feeling. It means I'm doing my job, yeah, and I'm very happy to do it.
You don't need it?
No, I'm happy. Of course, when you have a bad tournament, your confidence drops and things like this. Even so, you try to fight as much as you can, yeah? But I think it's basically when I play a tournament, when I play against good players, it gives me a very good feeling. I'm really happy.
My personal point of view on that question is that when you play a game, then you shouldn't worry about results, because the game will end, and at the end there will be a result. So we shouldn't worry about results. Results come, all games finish. What we should worry about is who we are during the game, how we try to play. And when I improved and when I was very serious as a player, I always tried to really make sure that I went into the game wanting to be the best version of myself, to play optimistic chess and to play good chess and be a fighter and so on. And I think that's the reason why, for at least a limited period of time, I had very good results. That the focus should maybe be on your play and not so much on results.
On your play and on self-improvement. I would point out two things.
Sure. Next question is more direct. Is this opening variation. So we have basic King's Indian, e4, d6, bishop g5 castles, and then f4. Do you have any recommendation for black?
I would already consider playing c5, d5, b5.
Mm-hmm.
Because the bishop went too far.
Some dark squares are weak.
Yeah, maybe somewhere also to include h6, bishop h4, we should see.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere would allow us some option, maybe like knight h5, maybe extra tempo.
To attack with one
On h4, but okay, this I don't know. This was I would consider first.
Mm-hmm. Next question. Someone says, let's say I have 30 minutes every day to work on chess. He's rated 1900. What should be his main focus?
No. I would do like one day ending, one day calculation, one day some basic openings.
My personal suggestion would be, again, the use super books as a basic foundation because they do go through most things.
Okay.
And the second question from the same person is, any chance of seeing you in France so you can get his books signed?
I'll be happy if France would organize some good tournament.
And invite you as well.
And invite me. Actually, I normally do very well in France. One of my big achievements were in France. I won Grand Prix, I won Cannes, I tied Cannes 2002, I tied Alekhine Memorial in Zaronian. I won Kandak 2 times. So France is a pretty lucky country for me.
They should invite you, you play well then.
Yes, but they don't organize anything these days. Yeah.
Mm.
Now it was this Grand Tour Rapid, yeah? But I'm not in Grand Tour.
No. Next question, which is from...
Also, I think public and French like me. When
I think people like you everywhere, Boris.
Yeah, I hope so, yeah. But in France, I remember when I played this Kaptak tournament, and it was like amphitheater, and I was playing final with Skarpov twice. Okay, it was hall for 600 people, and it was full, and like people came with posters, "Go Boris," and like in football match, you started shouting before the game, "Boris, Boris."
It must have been really, really lovely.
Yes, it was really very touching, yeah. And it's Karpov's tournament.
Yes. Now, there's a thing I would just say in that connection that I went to Moscow and followed the World Championship match in 2012, and to me one of the memorable moments of that match was actually at the prize giving, or it was a press conference, I'm not sure, where Anand said that for him one thing that made the match really, really wonderful was that before every game you met him out in the back and shook his hand and said, thank you for coming, it's a great pleasure for me to play with you today, or something like this.
I didn't say it.
No, something like this.
But of course we shook hands before each match.
But anyway, there was this really positive atmosphere of
that's
just a game.
Yeah, but that's two of us, yeah. It's our personalities, yeah.
So it's both of you like this.
Yeah.
It's a mutual thing.
Yeah,
but for me it was very nice.
Game, it's not like when we finish a game, everything is a little behind. Yeah, it's normal attitude, in my opinion.
Also, yeah, I remember that when you won against Christuk in the final game of the candidates, then there was like maybe half a minute where you looked entirely stunned. You realized it's over. Yeah. And then he starts, what if I played this? What if I played this?
No. He said very warm words immediately.
Yeah, but from the camera we saw he was clearly.
Yeah, but then he said something like, "Congratulations, you played fantastic game. You played fantastic game. Good luck. You deserve the win." He really was really nice. And then even the closing ceremony, we kept on discussing the game and the match. He was very friendly.
Very quickly, he was like asking about the game. What if I played this? What if I played this?
Yeah.
Because really, it's more important than the title. It's the game.
Yeah, of course.
Next question was a player rated around 2400 who would like to make it to 2500, and I presume Grandmaster title, but has very little time to play chess and quite a lot of time to study. The next tournament is next year. Do you have any advice on how you prepare for a tournament when you haven't played for a while? Sometimes that has happened for you. You have had no invitations.
Yeah.
So What do you do to keep sharp for a tournament when you haven't played for, like, say, a few months?
No, a few things, of course. All this time, okay, if you have time to study, it's already good foundation.
Mm-hmm.
But also it means that maybe like 2 weeks before the tournament, you should focus more on solving, or ask maybe a friend who lives around to play some rapid games with you, just to, because it's a big difference between you study and then you have to take decision over the board.
Mm-hmm.
So to be back in the competitive format.
Do you play rapid games for training?
Yes, sure.
With Alex or?
With Alex, for example.
Yeah.
For example, with Alex. We play quite a lot. He insists we should play more, but somehow we play what we play.
You're busy playing solitaire, yeah?
I'm busy playing solitaire, and he complains.
Yeah, remember there was a lady who wanted to kiss your daughter goodbye many years ago when she was very young. I don't remember her answer.
Yeah, of course.
It's a legendary.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm busy playing with my doll.
Yeah. Yeah, Chinese, nice lady.
Yeah.
Hello to her. I'm sure she is reading.
Do you think that playing training games against the computer is good for a lower rated player?
I do believe it could be useful, but to a certain degree. It wouldn't be your only thing you do. First of all, if you play against computer, it's a very good chance you would lose all your game, which is pretty bad for your confidence.
Sure.
And that's okay. Computer play different style. Of course, we can learn immensely a lot from computer. But also, we should remember that we play against humans. So, occasionally it can be good, but I wouldn't do it too much.
Next question. When in your race to becoming a super grandmaster, did you experience some kind of barrier, and how did you overcome it?
Sorry?
Some kind of
barrier. In the beginning.
Like, you know, on your way up,
yeah.
In the late 80s, early 90s, did you have a feeling of some barrier, like something you were really struggling with, and how did you overcome it?
Well, it's all the time, you know. It's not like you don't progress consistently. You try, and sometimes for a few months, for half a year, for 1 year, you are stuck, yeah? Mm-hmm. And I remember vividly that I had some bad results, and just before I went to, even before I went to Palma de Mallorca, when I won this GMA Open, and established my place in the world's elite. It's a very strong Open. The day before, I talked to my father that maybe I should go, yeah, that I played too bad, yeah, maybe.
Yes.
I remember we were sitting in the airport, yeah, and then I told him, yeah. But it's very often, yeah, you are ready to give up one step before success, yeah.
That's what I was saying, it always takes a bit longer than you think.
Yeah.
So if we're thinking about improvement, do you think it's better playing against high-rated players? Like, you know, some countries you can enter your own group or you can enter a higher group? Or is it better to play players on your own level?
I always believe you should better play the highest possible. And it's still my ambition. But I do believe that in order to improve, you should better play players who are a bit stronger than you. Mm-hmm. Because when you play really, players from very top, maybe you won't learn much. But when you play players who are a bit better than you could see what makes this difference, and hopefully overcome these opponents pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. So basically you should play games where you still have a chance.
Where you have a chance and where you have
Okay, the next question is about favorite anecdotes with Petrosyan, so I think we should just refer people to the book.
Yeah.
Next question might be something which you know something about. Do you have any advice for a religious player on how to deal with the Sabbath?
I don't know.
Well, you know how some people do deal with it.
I know, but different rabbis suggest differently. Maybe they should ask Boris Gulko, yeah, who had some experience, different experiences, or Leonid Yudasin. Eventually, both of them quit chess, but probably because of the, okay, Boris is already quite an age, approaching 70, yeah, and probably lack of motivation, or so it's not so interested, not because of religion or because he became weak, yeah. You should ask him.
Also, he wrote some very good books based on the conversation.
Yes, yes, I saw he made a gift, he gave me, I think, first one. I think about second one.
I think there's 3.
Yes, third one I still didn't see. I think first one he sent me and the second one I bought.
Next question. What gives you the biggest satisfaction in chess? Feeling improvement, beautiful ideas, or just winning games?
No, when it's combined. When you see you learn something new, you find a good idea, you won a game, and you won the game in your style. Not because of the random mistake of your opponent, but because you really played a good game.
During and at the end of any calculation, you super recommends to always check if there are any check, capture, or threat. I find this difficult but very useful advice. Do you and the other top players do this very consciously, or is it like second nature to you?
I do believe that maybe you could tell better, because for me all what's related with calculation is on subconscious level. So
for you it happens so fast that it cannot be conscious.
It cannot be. I can now maybe retrospectively I can explain why I looked for it, yeah. But during the game I never stopped to think why.
I think maybe this is a good point for us to take a break and say this is wrap up session 1 of the Q&A.
Okay.
And we'll do a session 2 later, and because we don't want to miss lunch.
Okay, good, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.